Okay, so with that being said, Mr. Dentley, I'm going to turn the floor over to you.
Well, first of all, thank you very much. I always tell people, and I really sincerely mean it, it's always an honor and a privilege to get a chance to share any message that I can do that can inspire your heart, that can encourage you, but also that can tap into the power that lives inside of every person. I do want to say thank you again, Deanna. When she called me the very first time and you wanted me to come and speak, I said, I'll tell you what, let's do two. Because I think you have to attach breakthrough to something else. You have to try to attach an anchor to create different triggers and different things that can not only get you there, but the things that can really kind of keep you there. And when I say there, it's really where is it that you really want to be? Novell Goddard writes that you are whoever you are conscious of being. And when you look at this great company Switch, and I know Kathy's here, I saw her in the chat that Kathy is here. Hello, Kathy. My salutations to Brad, to Darby, to Kristen, your corporate team, and all the leaders that are here, every individual, every life, because you're all leaders. You're all leaders. And right now, and where your company is right now, is really about stepping into that next phase for you, to step into your future that you are creating. And I always tell people that you really can't tell the future if you're willing to write it. Because you get in life not what you want, but you get what you expect. And when you talk about the power of Switch and the power of all the things that you all are here to do and the opportunity that you have chosen to embark upon, it is coming down to community. And it's more and more important, not just for you, but everyone in the world right now is looking for a place to belong. And when people don't feel or see where they fit, then sometimes we tend to act like a misfit. We're out of joint. So it's important to be in alignment because there's so much power when you're operating together at one force. So I want to talk about a few things about your engagement and what it is that you've chosen to do, because I really believe what you've chosen has also chosen you. But it's really about listening and believing in that small voice that prompted you to make a decision to be involved in the first place. And never turn your back on that. There's so many people every single day that they think about, dream about, and whisper about climbing Mount Entrepreneur. That one day that there's a better life for them. How many people right now on the line right now believe there's more for you in this life? If you believe there's more, type in the chat, there's more. There's always more. There's always more. And we live in a very interesting time because when others are a little nervous and live with so much anxiety right now, you live in an era of possibility because the industry that you have chosen to be a part of is really building a future. You're going, as Star Trek would say, where no man and no woman have gone before. You're plowing the road now for something that's yet to come that's going to be mainstream. It's not a fad. It's not just something that comes and will disappear. This is really the future. It's going to shape our financial system, not just in our country, but in the entire world. And they've been talking about this for like 30 years. For 30 years, they've been talking about how can we move into that because there are signals there that were demonstrated many years ago that there's got to be a better way. And because you're forging the path for that, you all are sitting in a position where not only can you change your life based upon the decisions you make every single day, but the lives of everyone you care about around the lives of your community. Many of you don't know that you are difference makers. You are dragon slayers. You're giant killers. You don't really realize how big decentralized banking is, how big the NFT movement is, how big working with nodes, how big it is, but it really comes down to community. Because if you look at all the companies out there right now that are worth $1, $2, or $3 trillion, they all did something that's very interesting. They all created a subscription, and when they created a subscription, they created a community, even if people didn't realize they were in a community. They were in the Facebook community. They were in the Apple community. They were innovative. They were the people who were visionaries, who stepped in something to create a world that didn't exist yet. Robert F. Kennedy said that some people see the world as it is and ask why. Others see the world as it's never been and ask why not. So just remember that most people don't know how fast they can swim until they have sharks that are pursuing them. Yet the ones who succeed in life's great race will be the ones who will wisely set their pace. Their pace is not set as fear requires, yet every stroke is a product of their desires. So if you ever find yourself sitting in a world filled with decisions, each and every one of you can choose to be guided by your fears or by your visions. But Switch is very innovative. You now are blazing a trail to create a new future, a new frontier. You're the ones who will reach high grades. You're the ones who have a lot of success. You're the ones who will have high marks because you will not be waiting to see the sharks. Today is not just talking about crypto and Bitcoin and NFT and nodes. We're not just talking about that. We're really talking about, if you've got a pen and paper, I want you to write this down. We're talking about choice. Wow. The most powerful word in the world right now is not currency, code, or capital. It's really switch. And I want to kind of break that down, what I mean by that, because I want to do a play on words, because every breakthrough in history, every breakthrough that's ever happened in history began when someone decided to switch their thinking, to shift their paradigm, to switch from limitation to possibility, to switch from permission to purpose, to move from following a system that no longer serves us to building a system that empowers us. And, the anxiety comes in because we don't know what that looks like, because it's not the future, it's not your innovation, it's not your imagination, but it's conformity, which is really the enemy. We get kind of baked into things being one way, and how dare us try to do something different, and that we can't even articulate to everyone else that are around us. You are a special type of people because, oh man, a lot of people are so misunderstood. But you're here because you understand something in the world, that's something the world is just beginning to realize today, that the future does not belong to those who wait. The future belongs to those who build. To those who build. To those who have a relentless pursuit of an ideal, of a dream, of a possibility, even if you don't understand it. And I know sometimes there can be some anxiety, but forget about the fear. That doesn't even exist. That's just a word. That's just a word. It's just a chemical reaction in your body to move into something that's unknown, but you have to go out on a limb because that's where the fruit is. When you look at crypto and NFTs and all the different things that are happening right now, these are not trends. These are tools. None of these are just trends. They're tools. They're tools for ownership, tools for transparency, and as the market shifts, tools for creators to finally control their value, their voice, their legacy. And Switch exists to make that transition pretty simple, secure, and stabilized, and to make it human as well. Then you'll be able to touch the lives of so many people, because 5 and 10 years from now, this is going to be commonplace. Everybody will begin to know and be taught what it is that you're doing right now. You're really taking a new trajectory of how our world is going to exist, how we're going to navigate, what money is really going to mean, what currency is going to mean, what community is going to mean. But it begins with each and every one of you doing your part. One body, many members. That if you have a team, everybody has to be on the same play. We have to know the play, we have to execute the play, and we have to play our part. Even when you don't feel like it, even when you don't believe it, you got to do it anyway. You do it until it becomes true, because there's scores of achievers that have done incredible things. And you look at companies like Federal Express and Facebook and Google, it goes on and on and on. And individuals, whether it be Colonel Sanders or Ray Kroc, that they had a lot of stumbling blocks. They had a lot of challenges when they built their dream, but they saw something that others couldn't see. Even Constantine the Great, a ruler of Rome, he looked into the sky and he saw a cross. He saw a cross, and he began to act upon that vision and paint that cross on the shields of all of the soldiers when they went to battle. And they won that battle of the Meridian Bridge in 312 AD. But out of a vision, about believing something that for some people it doesn't even make sense right now, because all we know is all we know, And for so long, innovation is felt a little elusive, complex language, the closed doors, the systems that are designed for just a few people that understood it. How do we understand the things that the Elon Musk understand, or they're sending people to space? How do we understand that math? How do we even begin to create those engines? Okay. But to empower the creators who were told their work had no value, that it can never happen. Just like they once said the world was flat, and so many people believed it. And in many situations, you can compare the people that you talk to, the people that you socialize with, and even the people that you live with. In this instance, some people believe the world is still flat, because they don't realize that where success begins, where failure ends, where the dry desert ends, the green grass grows, and now you're on the cusp of creating a future. So have you ever in your life been early to something and you doubted? If you've ever been bold about something and you were misunderstood, if you ever believed in a future that others could not see, Switch is for you. That's why you're here. Last time we spoke, we had an exercise about imagination. I asked you to open up your hand and see an apple. I pray that after we left that session that you begin to think about that and even tell other people to hold out your hand and see a red apple in your hand and now make it green and make it yellow. Because not only must you learn how to activate your vision, but you must learn how to cast a vision, to enroll people inside of a vision. And that comes with a degree of conviction that comes without knowing. That's what faith is. It's the faith of the size of a grain of a mustard seed. The faith that you can believe in something that does not yet exist. The substance of things hoped for. The evidence of things that are not seen by the naked eye, by the average person, the people who have conformed into one way that we've always done things. So Switch is not just a platform. Switch is a movement. Switch is each and every one of you to click that switch inside of you and say, this is what I'm building. And this vehicle is going to open up the doors, the training that you're receiving, the fact of the matter that you're just looking at a new frontier of how our financial systems will even work and how money is going to be used and how transactions are going to happen, that you are here at the beginning of all of it. And it will make sense. It will make sense later. It will all make sense later. But it's going to happen earlier for you. In this movement right now, this declaration, this decision that you've drawn a line in the sand, a technology that will serve people, not intimidate them. That innovation should unlock freedom, not unlock your fear, not unlock indecision, not unlock procrastination. Because see, as you create the success that you decided to embark upon, if you decide each and every day to move forward into your dream, to move forward and not trust the company, trust you. You brought yourself here. Start right there. And then everything else is pretty simple, because there's a reason that each and every one of us are here. Something happened, something you heard, something you experienced, and you moved into it. And now, because it's uncertain or you're not seeing it fast enough, then we back down. Well, when you build a community, it's like a team. It's like going to war with the people next to you. That you're strong because the person next to you is strong. You don't fail, and you never lose the war because you're going to make sure that they don't lose the war. That you have each other's back, that you're challenging each other, that you're creating success story after success story after success story, that it's possible, it's happening, it's beginning to happen for me. And I went back, I used to study history, and I looked at, Colonel Sanders, he retired, he was 65 years of age, and all he had was a great recipe. And 1,008 people told him, no, it would never work. If he would have quit, there would have been no KFCs. They exist all over the world. All he had was a dream. He's 65. He didn't have a strong business background, but he had a dream and a vision. And where most people would abandon, forget about it, 11 herbs and spices, we'd be back to seasoning salt and pepper. Build on it. When Ray Kroc took over McDonald's, the McDonald brothers tried to franchise McDonald's on 2 occasions, and it didn't work. But Ray Kroc, selling milkshake machines, believed that success begins where failure ends, and he kept going. And when you keep going, you'll meet people along the journey. It's called the hero's journey. The hero's journey is the foundation for movies, the foundation for books, the foundation for your life, and the legacy that you're creating. Because this is all part of your legacy. And you can't afford to say, what if it doesn't work? What if it does? When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at always change. So it's time to unlock freedom and not fear. It's time to unlock possibility. It's time to move away from doubt. 1% doubt, you're out. You have to have that faith. You have to have that belief. You have to act as if. Because if you look at every person, whether it been Federal Express, when Sam Smith, he was building his business and he couldn't get it to go, man. The cost of fuel almost drove him out of business. They almost lost their company on 3 occasions. One time he had to go to Vegas and roll the dice just to make payroll. And it came up, his number hit, and they made payroll and kept him in the game. And then they couldn't get enough customers in, so they had all these planes, and fuel was so high it was going to take them out of business. And one woman, after they sent all the pilots home, one woman needed to get a wedding dress, to someone she cared about. And the manager who sent everyone home flew her by herself in that plane, but she knew people. And word of mouth is the most powerful way that you can move anything in the world, to be able to inspire minds and hearts that what you're doing is a worthy purpose, that you're enrolling in a vision, man. People will move forward with you if you have a cause, if you have a vision, if you have a why, until they start making money. So what's your why? What's your vision? And you get good at it. You just get good at it, because if you keep swinging, you're going to hit something. It's called the law of probability. You just keep swinging. As John Stark says in his documentary that we have on our TV network called Keep Shooting. If you keep shooting, something's going to fall in that basket. But you got to keep going and keep going and keep going. You have people in front of you who risked millions of dollars, that risked their reputations, that risked everything that they have, and building a platform. And right now, as part of a team, all the heavy lifting has been done. You don't have to go out there and create all that. It's created for you. The systems are already there. All you have to do now is walk into it. It's no different than when a baby is born into a brand new world. The baby doesn't know anything about that world. There's no manual in the womb. There's no conference going on how to navigate life. You have to go through that step by step and learn and grasp things. So now it's time to have that imagination of a small child. I always believe in Peter Pan, that things are possible. So it's now are you ready to make that decision, to make a switch from hesitation to action? The switch from just being a consumer to a creator. To switch from watching the future happen to owning your place in it. This is your time. This is your turn. Type in the chat, is my time. And now type in the chat, it's my turn. You have to claim it. You have to decree it through the power of your words. You know, vibration, frequency, and energy is so real. It is the energy behind the words. And it's not a shout, it's a conviction. It's a quiet intensity. It's a power. You have to have goals and ideals. You know, Benjamin E. May said, it must be borne in mind that the true tragedy in life does not lie in reaching your goals. He said the true tragedy lies in having no goals to reach for. He stated that it's not a calamity not to capture your ideals, but it is a calamity to have no ideals to capture. It's not a disaster not to live your dream, but it is a disaster not to dream. And it's not a disgrace not to reach the stars, but it is a disgrace to have no stars to reach for. Because when you reach for the stars, even if you fall short, you'll come down with stardust in your hand. So the power switch means when you're climbing that mountain and doubt comes and life starts lifing and things start happening around you, whether it be in your family, it can be in your relationships, it can be in health, it can be all those things. How are you going to show up in the midst of adversity? I have a dear friend of mine, and this is a true story. His name was Ken Robinson. He passed away at 59 years of age. This gentleman was diagnosed with stage 4 stomach cancer. And, he gets involved in different companies. Matter of fact, we were in companies together. We owned a major company together at one time. I'm his children's godfather. He's my son's godfather. And he didn't tell anyone he was sick. The only people who knew he was sick was his wife and his 2 children. He's going to chemo. His sister didn't even know it. He's getting sick in a bucket, and he's picking up the phone. He bends down and gives the bucket everything he got inside of him, and then he gets back on the phone and makes calls. The phone rings. He answers the phone. He sucked it up and answered the phone like he was at full strength. When people saw him, He didn't even look sick. You know why? Because mentally he was not sick. He was on a mission. You see, they gave him 3 months to live, and the value of his life increased to that I have to make some things happen in these next 3 months. I want to secure my family in these next 3 months. And the hope that he had and the work and the possibility, the vision he had, the life he was trying to create for his children and for his wife. He went from zero and left them over $1 million and a business that pays him about $10,000 a week. And he didn't get sick until 30 days until he left here. They gave him 3 months. He lived for 3 years. What is that spirit inside of a man or a woman that when all your chips are thrown in the middle of the table, when there is no more time left, that we can do the most unbelievable things? You know, I always tell people that all of us are only going to be here for a flicker. We're only going to be here for a short amount of time. The poet said it's not how did one die, but how did one live? Never what did one gain, but what did one give? You see, my Switch community, these are the merits that will measure the worth of every man and every woman from the time of their birth. Never what was their station, but had their heart. And how did you choose to play your God-given part? You see, Switch, the community that you're in right now, the community and the community you've chosen to be a part of, don't turn back on your choice. You know, don't turn back on the choice you made, because the way you do little things is the way you do everything. Like people say, well, what if it doesn't work? Well, there's a lot of things that may not work, but what if it does work? And how will we know if we don't keep toiling forward? I will press forward. I will take another step. When you read the book by Ogmandino, the greatest salesman in the world, he sums it up this way. He says, I will call on 100 while everyone else calls on 10. The average person will go out and look out their window and say, it's raining cats and dogs out there. Or something just happened in our world or in our community, and nobody's going to go out there. Nobody's going to enroll with me. Nobody's going to believe in this. I don't know if I can get the people I live with to believe in me anymore. And the other person says, it's raining cats and dogs out there. I'm not going out there. Nobody's going to be out there. But the person who wins, you know what they say? It's raining cats and dogs out there. Nobody's going to be out there. I'm going to be out there. I'm going out there. Because if nobody's out there, then all your competition is off the street. So you see, when someone else wants to call on 10 people, you call on 100. If someone else says, can't afford it, I don't want to keep paying $5 a month, I don't want to invest in a node. Well, how much money have we thrown away on frivolous things, that clothes we can't wear anymore? On a date that didn't work out? When you purchase something, you ever had buyer's remorse on anything? Some things that you purchase. Christmas is coming, and we spend all the money, we find the money and the resources to do all these great things, to buy presents. And every child I've ever seen, they never play with anything after February. They go back to the one or two things. It's about making a shift in your paradigm, seeing the world different, and creating a world that's never been for you. That you can create the life that you truly want to live. And that's what it's really all about, to create that life, to build that. You know, and stay positive every step of the way. I tell the story in my household, you have to stay positive. My son, if he had a negative attitude, I make him do 10 push-ups, and I do 10 with him. I always have to stay positive. So he came home one day, he said, Dad, I said, what's wrong, son? He was looking very glum and at the floor. I said, what's wrong? He said, Dad, I'm afraid I failed my math test. I said, son, you remember you have to stay positive in this household. He said, yeah, I understand, Dad. I'm positive I failed my math test. Well, we had a great laugh at that, just by making a shift in the energy, whatever happens that's in front of you. Don't quit on something you started. People are dependent upon you, because if you stick, you have stickability, then other people will stick to you. And no matter what you touch, and I've said this before, it's learning how to bake an apple pie. Once you understand how to bake that pie, it doesn't matter what kitchen you're in. The vehicle you're in right now can give you the freedom, and most importantly, it builds you the community and the relationships where you become unstoppable. Because one thing I've learned, it doesn't matter how much money you can get paid from doing anything. It's going to be the community. because after all, money only makes you more who you are. And if you're out there by yourself with a lot of money, a lot of people aren't happy when they're out there by themselves. There's always more. There's something else that's there. And it really comes down to build that community and get good at it. Because when you're good at it, you can create an economy out of nothing because you already have the people. Solve a problem and fill a need. Who doesn't want or need to make more money? Who doesn't want or need to have an investment? You know, people say, the society says, let's invest in mutual funds. Everybody sells mutual funds. They're taught to go get a mutual fund. But what they don't tell you is that when they put that in the market, that mutual fund can drop 5% or 50%. And by the time it takes you 5, 6, 7, 8 years to get back if it drops 30, 40%. I've been there, see? But we're listening to what we've been taught instead of what we believe. You know, we get a job and we get a 401k. Well, 401k was really designed. It was really designed to keep you from quitting so soon and to keep people working at least 5, 10 years. They had no intention on them staying 40. And that created a problem. So they had to do a shift. They had to switch. They had to switch because they've got to pay money up back on the back end that they don't have. But if the stock market goes down, your 401k goes down. And then on top of that, if you pull the money out, you're going to get penalized for it. So they're going to keep working with your money, making money over money over money over money. And now here, through the opportunity that you have, that you created an economy that really doesn't have limitations yet. But you got to hang in there. Well, this didn't work. Well, you should have thought about that before you got in. Let's make it work. You can say that about anything. Well, school may not help me. Well, it may not help you get the life you want, but it's going to help you go in the right direction. You're going to meet people, you have something to compare with, but you don't know if you don't go. Well, same thing with a relationship. You don't know, but you know. And if you think about the things that we claim and we operate in without knowing 100% what the answer is, we do it all of the time. And that's what faith is. So you've got to build your community. You have to stay engaged. Community engagement is everything. Make it fun. Use your imagination. Become innovative. Ask yourself questions like, how can I make it even more engaging? How can I make it more impactful? How can I take the things I know and stack upon them to make my business grow faster, to take this and just look, your monthly obligation is very small. So why not talk about it? Why not tell people about it? Why not lead by your example with it? Why not step into it? You know, I used to invest in gold bars. I like the movie Goldfinger with James Bond. I got these gold bars and he said, gold's always going to be there. Well, the market went down and my gold bars went from $65,000 a bar to $55,000 a bar. So I'm sitting there with 20 bars and I'm down $10,000 a bar. You see, the only absolutes are what you're going to create. But I'll tell you this, when you have community engagement, you're not out there by yourself and teams win. Great teams win. If you want to go fast, you can go by yourself. You want to go far, you go with a team. But if you want to go fast and far, you go with a great team. So each and every one of you all, I really believe that you all are dependent upon each other. Even if you don't see each other, some of you are in different parts of the world. I know I spoke and made mention of many folks last time I was on the line, and whether it be Ranji and whether it be who else was there. It was Grant and Kristen and it was Ben and of course Diana and many of you that are out there doing your thing. And now we got these new and these up and coming leaders and people here who are pressing so hard each and every day. Ben Jones. They've been telling me about Ben and the innovation, this innovative thought process about how do I get new business, because he knows how to ask himself a question. And he knows how to control the computer of his brain. When I ask the question, an answer will start to populate. Your own internal chat GPT. And if all else fails, go to chat GPT and try to get whatever it takes that you need to move forward, to move through it, over it, under it, around it. It doesn't matter, but you will get on the other side of the mountain. You will do that. You will get to the top or you're going to die on the side, because waiting and wailing and wishing and hoping and living in fear is no longer an option. That's what it is when you have the power of the switch. When you click a switch and you go to a different place. Some people call it a zone. I call it click. You can call it switch. And you go. And you have to play this game, this exercise, and manage everything between these 6 inches that are in front of your face. You've got to read more. You've got to study more. You've got to wake up and live in possibility and not fear, to live in promise and operate towards that promise. And as I mentioned before, you build your future from your future. And if you do that, then nothing can ever stop you because you're creating a movement. And that movement then can be transferred to your family. It can be transferred to whatever you do. The people that you're looking for are looking for you while you're looking for them looking. There's a story of 3 wise men that were retiring, and they were trying to decide what to do with this thing called greatness. They realized that if the human race could understand the power that we have inside of us, that we would implode, we would kill ourselves. And the first wise man said, I got it. Why don't we stick it on the top of the highest mountain? The other wise man said, you don't understand. These people, this human race, they'll find a way to fly in the sky like the birds, even higher. And we've done that. The other wise man said, why don't we just stick it in the deepest part of the ocean? They don't even know what's down there. The other wise man said, no, you don't get it. They'll find a way to light up even the depths of the sea. The third wise man said, I got it. Why don't we just put it inside of them? They'll never find it there. Each and every one of you all have more inside of you than you could ever dream or imagine. I've been teaching, training, and mentoring people all over the world for over 3 decades. I've been an entrepreneur for 45 years. When I was a kid, I learned how to create money. My mother worked in a grocery store in the daytime, a dentist's office at night. I had 3 sisters. I was the only boy, and I had to create money. If I wanted a new pair of gym shoes, I had to find a way to get it. So I created an economy. In Chicago, when it snowed, I shoveled the snow. Your front for a quarter, the back for a quarter, that's 50 cents. I'd rake your leaves. I rake the front for a quarter or back for a quarter. That's more money. I carry your groceries from your car or carry them at the grocery store to your car. And I made money. You send me to the store and I could be your Uber on feet. Gym shoe Uber. Just add it. I found ways to create value. My sisters were babysitting. I think they call them daycares now, but they were babysitting. They may have 12 kids they're babysitting. This is a long time ago. You can create money by solving a problem and filling a need. But what you're in right now is beyond the scope. You're already in it. All you have to do is stay in the crock pot and do your thing. Stir around, put a little seasoning in it every now and then, but stay in the pot. Because you're becoming something that's unknown to you. You're becoming something different, something new. And as one said, if being who you are can get you what you want, you'd already had it. So either change who you are or change what you want. I think Les Brown said that to me in 1994. Change who you are or change what you want. Albert Einstein said that you cannot elevate to the next level of your living using the same level of thinking that has you where you are. You must go to another level of thinking and then operating and then community. And it's easier when you're sticking together, when there's a group of people that's all involved in the same thing. Something that most people don't even understand. It's helping you build out your daily distribution. And all you have to do is stay pat and wait for just a little while longer. Just a little while longer. It will turn around. And whether I said like Facebook or whether it's the stuff they had with Google with antitrust and the issues that they had, that they could have been taken out. And Facebook and Amazon could have been taken out. This little bookstore, 70% chance of failure. And now each and every person I can name for you is worth over $250 billion. $250 billion. Do you know $1 trillion is 1,000 billion? How many people can use a cool billion right now in your bank account? Whether you want it or not. If you don't like it on the other side of the money, you can always give it back and go back to working at McDonald's and give it away to help some more people. No big deal. But you want to be successful for the experience because you're now forging a new frontier. You now are traveling out on your ship, a possibility and hope with a system that's already in place in front of you where people will put it all on the line And all it takes now is you to just believe and keep going, because the hard part has already been done. And they already know that the die has been cast. They're building a future. But no one achieves great things all by themselves. It's going to take a team. It's going to take each and every one of you. So who are you going to be when the chips are down? Who are you going to be when there's some doubt? Who are you going to be when there's inconvenience? Who are you going to be when you're distracted? Who are you going to be when life starts happening? It's happening. Because I'll tell you this. There's something that I believe that you don't know, that on the other side of this journey, as you move through this journey together, you're going to begin to discover your true power, because you've executed and activated your power of your belief. And belief is a verb. It's an action. See, you can't tell me you believe it if you're not doing it. Yeah, thanks, Kathy. Thank you for Switch, because when I see somebody who's an innovator, who's want to be a leader in an industry that people are trying to figure out, that some people have done and some people have done it and it didn't work for them. You know, and most of the time it doesn't work because they didn't do it the right way. They didn't do it with integrity. They didn't do it with honesty. But you got a company that everything's above board. It's already documented. They've already been there. They've been through the ebbs and flows. Right now, it's just about breaking through, because they understand the most energy that a rocket will ever have is just trying to get off the ground. If it can get past the clouds, going to Mars is easier. An airplane expends more fuel just trying to take off. But once it takes off, I can get from Chicago to Hawaii, and it doesn't take that more fuel, because now I'm riding on the currents. I'm riding the air pockets that's taking me in the direction I want to go. I'm now riding in my possibility. I'm now riding in those clouds. I'm riding in that truth. And it will reward you. I've been in my industry for many years and building businesses and building teams. And I'll tell you, man, you get to a certain point, sometimes you feel like it's hard. Sometimes people will quit on you. And don't dismay. When they quit, all you're doing is detoxing your organization so you can go faster, further. A shout out to the Australian team, going the extra mile, community driven on a whole nother level. Wow. You know, let me tell you something. Shout out to Australia. Look, let me share something with you. You see, the reason why your community needs to come together right now, because here, especially if you live in the United States, you see, we are this big melting pot full of different cultures. And when I go and do business with people, like now I'm doing business in Hungary, out in Budapest. Friday, I'm talking to a lot of people in the UK. When I go to China, when I go to Japan, they all are governed by a culture. They all operate within a culture. They're raised in a culture. You see, in the United States, we got a bunch of free thinkers, so we have to commit to submit to a culture. And we take that word commit like that we have to do something, like you're pressing me to do something. We don't like to commit. That means it's like you're forcing me. That's the way we take it. But I'm going to ask you to change the way you look at things, because the things you look at will change. To submit is to go with the current, not to go against it. You see, a lot of people drown because they get caught in a current, and the current's going one way and they try to go against the current. They always lose because you can't beat it. You have to go with that pocket of water in the direction it's already going. You go alongside of it. You go on the side. You don't fight against it, because you're never going to win that battle. And when you all together start going with the current of possibility, with the current of all the things that you're doing right now, culturally, you'll make a shift within your culture of Switch. Because look at Switch as its own country, its own entity, its own world, so to speak. That's the beauty of just the industry itself, when you have to bring people together under one banner and get people to collaboratively work together. And they can have different ways of doing it, but there's certain principles that have to always be there. And when you're going to build something great and you're going to build a community, you got to care. You got to care about yourself, and you got to care about each other. And it's really easy to do. Just choose it and then live it and care, because everybody I see on the screen, you're all in the same war. You're all doing the same thing. You're all in the same dream. You're all on the same team, or you wouldn't be here. So you have to care, so you're here. So don't get off of here today and tomorrow become faint of heart. Don't get off today and tomorrow be baked in self-doubt. Just keep going, because the muscle you're going to build and the endurance that you're going to create within yourself, the stamina that you're going to have, the fire you can be able to summon, you'll be unstoppable. How many people are ready to be unstoppable? Type unstoppable in the chat if you're ready to be unstoppable. Yeah. 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 I heard this gentleman's name is Barry White, not the singer. Barry White is the product tester. I heard about Barry White. Every time I do one of these, I ask about a few people, a few names. I can't name everybody, and don't want to exclude anyone, but I want you guys to know that success begins where failure ends, guys. You already have it. You already have it. You have everything inside of you to get done. It's just a shift in the mindset and invest in personal development. And there's a book called The Creature from Jekyll Island. I don't know if you ever read that book. It's about 700 pages. It talks about the Federal Reserve Bank and how it was created in the first place. And when it was created, there were 7 of the wealthiest men in this country got together under an assumed name and got on a train to go to Jekyll Island outside of Atlanta, Georgia. Many people don't know there's an island outside of Atlanta. Okay, yes. And they formed the Federal Reserve Bank. You are doing something similar because you're disrupting an industry that has to be disrupted because there's nothing backing up currency anymore. Everything we used to going in the wrong direction. Why do you think all these countries are trillions of dollars in debt? They're never going to get out of that. You are game changers. It's going to be a whole new world. And they don't understand it. And you may not understand it. Just go along for the ride. Go along for the ride. Just like you put your kid in the back seat of a car and strap them in, and they don't know how they got to grandma's house. They're just happy when they got there. Go for the ride. Get in the ride. Enjoy the ride. Learn from it. Don't stress about it. Don't invest in lack. Whatever you focus on is what's going to grow. Manage this thing in your mind. Learn to become, write this down, inner directed. Please learn to be inner directed. Somebody said they're going for the ride. You going for the ride? Say, I'm going for that ride. Let's go. Inner directed means that you are learning to get emotional intelligence to manage your emotions. That you control the meaning of things to you. So I'll give you an example. If Liza can do something that upsets me and she can make me react a certain way, am I in control or is Liza in control? Liza's in control. You see? See, if your fears and doubts are driving you, then you're not in control. Your fears and doubts are. And they're not even real. They're not even real. It's like the boogeyman up under the bed. We're not 5. We know there's no boogeyman under that bed. But we have to change the way that we think of things and the way we think about things and look at possibility, look at vision. Use that power of your imagination to take you to that next place. I like each and every one of you all. If you don't have it, and I want you just to play this game with me. I want you to think about your dream car. If you have a dream car, you may already have it. If you have a dream car, I want you to type the name of that dream car in the chat. What is that dream car? And tell me what color it is. Type it in the chat. I want to see what your dream car is. What do you want? Type it in there. Okay. I want you then to go get a picture off the internet of the dream car. I want you to do the same with the dream home. And your dream home, you may live in your dream home, but maybe you want to buy a home for a parent. Maybe it'd be nice to buy a home, candy, apple red. Okay. All right. Maybe you want to buy a home for somebody you care about. Maybe you want to buy a home for women that have no place to go or children who have no place to go. Red Maserati, very good. How many people realize there's people out here in this United States of America that still don't have food? That actually are starving, that can't function. So first of all, we can operate in gratitude. And with all the things that happen in Australia, our hearts go out to the challenges that they've had. A lot of people, their lives were disrupted last week. Here, it's become so normalized in the United States because it happens 400 times out of 365 weeks in a year. 365 days out of the year. Almost every day there's a big calamity. In Australia, they don't have that. This is an anomaly to them. It's different. See? As Ranjit knows, it's different. So our hearts go out to them because now something is shaking that is different, is not normal. And it's not normal for us to live in fear. It's not normal for us to live in poverty. We are our brother's keepers. And once you get on the other side and understand there's more, then there's more you can give, more you can serve, more people you can help, more people you can bless. And that's how you expand the quality of your life. Bentley, there you go. I want you to get that car. I want you to get a picture of that dream home. And don't be afraid. If you want a jet, they make jets for people. You're people, right? They make them for somebody. How many people believe you're somebody? Yeah. Yeah. Get on a private jet. When you get on a private jet, man, first class sucks. No, step into it. If you get a chance to go test drive that car, get a picture of it, put it on the wall. Now, don't put it on the wall and worship, but just have it somewhere where it's visible. It's going to operate just like a billboard operates. You see it without looking at it. They make jets for somebody. That's right, Kristen. They make jets for people. You're people. Don't play small. You only got one life. What difference does it make? Go for it. Maybe you don't get a jet, but you end up with a yacht. Okay? Oh, I can't get the 40 million. Okay, well, let's get a good 10 and float away from here. Float on. And put it someplace where people around you, they see it, and maybe they don't believe it. That will help you. You just have to believe it. I've done that with every Mercedes, every Rolls Royce I've ever brought, with our dream homes, when we brought my daughter her first home cash and my mother-in-law home cash. My wife always wanted to buy their parents a home. When I paid off my mom's home, and I was homeless in a car 5 years earlier, sleeping in a car, a raggedy car at that. In 5 years, that you can turn your life from tragedy to magic like this, especially in the industry that you're in. Because when it pops, you can't stop it. So now you got to do the work. You got to plow the field. You got to plant the seeds. And when you plant the seeds, you're going to create in harvest time something that won't just feed you for the year or for the season, but for eternity. Because it's going to keep growing because of the work you do. But you got to go out and plow that field, man. It is hard. It's hard. But you know what happens when it's hard, when you plow in the field? You build the muscle. You build endurance. Every time you go down and put that shovel in that ground, every time you have to pick those stones out of the way, every time you have to put your back into it a little bit, every time you don't feel like doing it, but you do it anyway. See, when you're building a dream and the dream is building you right back. And that's the key to becoming unstoppable. The platform's already here. The system's already there. All you have to do is stay engaged and do your part. And don't back down on your part. Because when a person back down on their part, most of the time they do it in other areas of their life as well. And once you become aware of that, then you intentionally make a shift. It's the blueprint of intention. Wake up tomorrow on purpose. Write down your goals. Dream a bigger dream. There's a movie that was called Shark Boy and Lava Girl. And my son was 5 years old. He's 28 now. I took him to see this movie in 3D. I've been up really late, so I decided I'll put on my 3D glasses and go to sleep. And he's 5 years old. I can trick him. And I could not stop watching that movie. Now, it's kind of interesting because the guy who plays Shark Boy, he also played, that's Christian, who also played in Twilight, the movie Twilight. He played Jacob. When he was a little boy, he played that. I met his mentor who trained 300 world champions. When he was filming that, he stayed, Team Jacob, somebody likes Jacob. He stayed at his house. His name is Mike. He stayed at Mike's house. And Mike's trained like 300 world champions. And he was telling us these stories. And I remember watching this movie with my son. And I couldn't go to sleep because Lava Girl said something I never forgot 23 years ago. She said, when your mind is filled with self-doubt, when it's taking too long to realize your dream, when you don't know if you can go another step, when you're not sure, when things are happening, you have to make hard decisions. Do I do this? Do I do that? When nobody believes in you and people are saying this stuff never works, or people say no to you, or people won't follow you, or they won't support you. She said, all you have to do is dream a bigger dream. How big is your dream? How big is your dreams? What is your vision for your life? Dreams you have, visions have you. They go hand in hand. So I want you to dream a bigger dream. I want you to commit to your community and commit to each other that you're going to follow through in what you started. I don't have any skin in that game. I'm telling you this because I know certain things that will help you, and not just this, but in everything that you do, man. This is about your life. About creating a winning habits that will help you succeed, to be able to break through where you can impact people throughout the world. You know, more people know me than I know. I'm always so blessed and so honored to do what I do. Just to think that people pay me an insane amount of money just to have a conversation. But when Diana calls me, I said, well, she gave me an offer to be on this meeting, and it was 3 times higher than what I decided to do, and it was for 1. And I said, no, we're gonna do it for a lot less, and we're gonna do 2, because she's out there fighting. I watch her fight for this thing. She's fighting, man. She's fighting. This young lady has nothing but fight in her. She is so, she bite, it's like a pit bull. She bite like a piece of meat. She got on that vision. She's so locked in on that. And she has this thing that she wants everybody to win because she knows what it takes, and she's fighting. She has done it everywhere she's been. She fights. That's all she has. Does that make sense? Her soul is in there and it's tied with you, but she can't do it without you. You're a piece. You ever put a puzzle together? How many guys ever put a puzzle together and you were almost finished, but you were missing one piece? See, each and every one of you are the pieces of the puzzle. But if you're missing one piece of that puzzle, you'll be on the floor under the table looking for that one piece. You're the piece to the puzzle. Each and every one of you all make that puzzle. You make it complete. So what? You're the sky. So what? You're part of the red barn. So what? You're part of the grass. You all make the picture. And the picture's not complete without you. So don't let us have to crawl on the floor looking for you. Show up. Because 80% of success comes in showing up. You know, Diane is committed not only to the company, to her business, but she's committed to each and every one of you. And that's why I'm here. And that's why I agreed to come here and speak. And I really love what you guys are doing. I really like your ownership and your team, incorporate the leaders of this, the innovators of it. You know a lot more than I even know. But I know you're onto something. You can always tell when somebody's cooking something in the kitchen because you see a little steam and you can start to smell it. Yeah, I'm picking up a scent of success for each and every one of you guys. So remember to follow your dreams no matter where they lead. And never ever get distracted by less worthy deeds. Remember to shelter them and nourish them and help those dreams to grow. Let your heart hold them down deep where dreams go. Follow your dreams, pursue them with haste, and don't ever forget that your life, the only one you get, is too precious and it's too fleeting to waste. So be faithful and be loyal, and in all your days through, the dreams that you follow, I promise, they'll always come true. Diana, if you have any questions for me, anything else you'd like me to share, I will turn it back over to you.
Can you hear me, Mr. Dentley?
Yes, I can.
First and foremost, let me say thank you. I was doing this the whole time. That's why I turned my camera off. I was like, don't be crying over here, because when I tell you that life has been lifing for me, and sometimes it gets hard. And I just knew that we needed you. I knew that
Diana, I've been there when everybody turned their back on me, when nobody believed. People tried to destroy me in the business, that they were getting paid on everything that I did. And I didn't know what I did to create that type of anger in that person, or why a person would think that way. I didn't do anything, but one day I took responsibility for it. And I said to myself, in 1994, I said, they're not good enough to put me in this position. So whatever I've done, I'm just going to work on. I don't know what it is. I still don't know. I'm just going to work on getting better. And one of his business partners, he came to me about 12 years ago, and we saw each other. He said, I want to apologize to you. I say, why? He said, because of what happened in 1994. I say, I don't even know what happened. He said to me, he said, you only have one problem. You know what he said what the problem was? He said, you were too good. And I didn't even know I was good. I was just trying to be helpful. I was actually homeless. So I get it. I get it. But that's okay because when the tears drop, something will grow beneath them. Put your heart out there, man. You got to live for something because we're all gonna gotta leave here, so it's gonna be all right. I'm glad I can. If I help anybody here, I'm really thankful I'm able to help you if I can. But this is an inside job. It's got to come from you outside guys. So if anybody has any questions or Diana, like I said, I'll be quiet now. But I just didn't want to leave you out there like that. It's all good.
I appreciate that. If you guys have any questions, you can raise your hand or put them in the chat. We got a couple minutes before we wrap up. I see any questions. Kathy said, nice hoodie. Y'all see my little switch hoodie? I know y'all be hating on me.
Hey, Diana, I got no questions. I just want to say, if I can speak on behalf of everyone, you are so loved. We love you and we are holding you. And anyone else is going through a challenging situation, we love you and thank you for having this on. And thank you so much for coming on, you beautiful, beautiful soul, you beautiful man. Thank you so much for your wisdom that you're giving to us. It's like I hear it for the first time, and I truly I love that. So that's all I want to say, Diana. Thank you, beautiful lady. Hugs to you.
Thanks, Ranjit.
Thank you so much. You're awesome. I heard great things about you too. Thank you.
Diana, we all unmute for just a second and show our love to both you and Mr. Dentley. Can we do that?
Yep, go ahead.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank
We love you.
you.
We love you, Diane.
Awesome.
Appreciate
Thank you, Kathy.
Thank you,
It's
You're
amazing.
so
Much.
wonderful.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
we
Thank you.
appreciate you
Thank
both.
you for the words. We
Thank
love
you.
you, Miss
Thank
Diana,
you.
and appreciate all that you do.
Well, you all promised that you all will do everything you can to create the life that you want and you deserve. So your children can see you and watch you. Just keep doing the work, man. I was able to give my 3 sisters and 12 other people Presidential Lifetime Achievement Awards for their unselfish work in philanthropy. They did not want the awards. They never wanted them. And I'm celebrating everybody. I'm celebrating each and every one of you ahead of time because if you have chosen to walk through this journey, then you won't be denied, especially if you stay together because we'll pick each other up in those times. But it's really about finding your life purpose. The day you were born and when the day you found out why are the 2 most important dates. So I need a commitment that you guys will do it for your families. Because my sisters didn't want the award, and I told them, I want you to take it for your children. They need to see you. Whether it be Kathleen or Frida or Pat or Marlo or Tosh or each and every one of you, Deb, Travis, they need to see you. Let your light shine. There's light inside of everything that lives, and you got to let it shine. And every emotion that you can have, we get them. But now it's time to do our work. Separate how you feel from what you know to be true. Feelings are fleeting. We all feel like our heart is broken. If our heart was broke, we'd be dead. We felt like we never love again and we met somebody else that was cute. And here we go. So it's always good. Don't even sweat it. So everybody put their hand over their heart. I want you guys to unmute your lines again for me real quick. Put your hand over your heart. And if you wouldn't mind, if you choose to, when you close out, when you talk to people in your team or you have these Zooms, I want you to remember this. Put your hand over your heart. Repeat after me. Say, I love my life.
I love my life.
Okay, all together now. Let's do it. Say, I love my life.
I love my life.
Say it again. Say, I love my life.
I love my life.
Since you only get one, say, I love my life.
I love my life.
Yes.
And I love your life too. One day we shall meet.
I love your
You
life.
do great work. God bless you guys.
Thank you.
God
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Have a good night, everybody.
You too. Bye.
Good
Thank
night, Miss
you.
Diana.
Good night.
It's time to kick that switch.
I'll dance anytime.
And sis,
They said it wasn't possible. They said we were just customers. We said we're the owners.
This ain't the old way, this is the new day, this is the one. We're not just users, we're the network, got the governance voice. Watch how we work. Oh, the platform, we own it. The
Shop, we build it. All wealth, we grow it. This is the user-owned network.